What's up, YouTube? Welcome to Fool Me Once. I'm your host, Joel. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing good? All right, everybody get your coffee, your tea, your water, whatever you drinking, get your beer, your tequila, whatever. We gonna go ahead and we gonna talk about what everybody been talking about. Y'all had to know, if you didn't, you should know better, that I was gonna talk about this whole Oscars bullshit. So before we go ahead and get started, like, subscribe, and most importantly to me, share the content with your friends, your family. See if we can all agree to disagree. Might have some good points. You might say he don't know what the hell he talking about, which would be normal. But usually I'm dead. I'm dead on point with mine. Um, but today's subject is just basically Jada gotta go. She gotta go. Everybody know what that means? That means she got to go. The relationship to me has went past its stop. It's time for this relationship to end because at this point, it ain't doing nobody no damn good. Now, that's just my personal opinion based on how I view the relationship, what's been said, what's been done. So today's subject is Jada gotta go. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna briefly touch the subject matter. I think everybody know by now that last Sunday at the Oscars, Chris Rock, the comedian, made a joke about Jada's uh, hair or lack thereof, um, and she didn't take kindly to it. Will laughed at first, but Jada rolled her eyes as everybody saw. Will got up, went up there. Chris Rock didn't have a goddamn clue what was about to happen, but guess what? He got smacked. And that's how we all got to this point. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and give my initial opinion. My initial opinion was, man, way to go, Will. Good job, bro. Y'all done dealt with enough. Don't let another motherfucker talk about your wife, your family, your kids, your nobody. Um, while I condone the smack, to me, I still felt like, he could have talked to him afterward or said the same thing he said from his chair to him. So let's be clear, I don't condone the violence, but I do appreciate the fact that any man or woman for that matter will protect their spouse or girlfriend or friend. Everything don't have to be based in a relationship. It could be your best friend that's going through this. But if you got their back, then go ahead. But once again, I don't condone the smack. So we're gonna talk about their relationship, kind of sort of how they met and where we are now. Will had a prior relationship where he had a son. Um, I think his son is about 27. He's a junior, Willard Smith the third, if I'm not mistaken. So that's from a previous relationship, and we're gonna come back to the son because it's something I want to bring up when we talking about the children. So they met, Jada and Will met. I think they dated at first. She said she states on record she did not like Will like that. But I guess, Will seems to be a charming guy. I think eventually, well, I think I know, they got to know each other. Next thing you know, they dating. Next thing you know, they married. So that's their relationship. They've been married, if I'm not mistaken, going off almost 25 years or more. Um, Next thing we want to talk about is Will's issues. Everybody knows he wrote a book. It came out last November, where in the book he discussed a few things that I think shocked a lot of us. We were sort of proud of him that he would open up to us, and there was some things in there that even I was just sort of shocked about. Like, I mean, the abuse of his mother. When you see, that goes to show you that when you see the face of a family, that's just what you see. You never know what's going on behind the scenes. But he spoke about how his dad um, abused his mom, and he was a youngster, and there's really nothing he could do about it. So basically, he lived his whole life thinking he was a coward for not taking up for his mom. Even though he was a little guy, wasn't really nothing he could do. He felt like in his heart he should have did something. And in turn, he did nothing. And Will has been living with that trauma since he was a little guy. And based on how he's acting now, and remember, I'm not a professional, I'm just going off the surface of what I see and what everybody see. But the fact that he said that he basically lives his life, his fame, his stardom sort of masked the fact that internally he's basically still that scared little boy that couldn't protect his mother. And to be honest, that's how he lived his life. He's had sort of behind the fame, but he's that guy. And if you think about what he did to Chris Rock, I think when we go back to the book, it all sort of makes sense. It's sort of like that's the way someone would, you know, act out. So we got that issue. Um, the reason why I titled this Jada Gotta Go is because Jada's been married to this man for over 25 years. She lives with him, regardless of how the relationship is now. She lives with Will. She knows his issues. And to me, she's dead ass wrong for basically poking and prodding and pulling out of him what she know is really deep down in his core, some stuff he's trying to bury. To me, she know exactly what buttons to push, and she seems to push them. We've all seen the infamous Red Table Talk when they had the entanglement situation. It's like the way she was talking to Will, I'm just like, ain't no way in goddamn hell my wife or anybody else. To me, he was humiliated. But once again, we can go back to the fact that she knows all his issues from their talks. I'm sure Will then opened up about the things he's been through, what scares him in life, and it just seemed like she is the ultimate puppet master. So to me, she's definitely wrong for that. That's something as a husband, a wife, a boyfriend, a girlfriend. If someone confides in you their deepest, darkest secrets, the last thing you want to do is sort of use that against them or for your purposes. So that's one of the reasons, like I said, I thought long, hard. Well, it didn't take that long to think about this subject. To me, she gotta go, or he gotta go, or the relationship must end because looking forward, I just don't see how this relationship could bear any fruit. So another thing that we have to talk about is this almost obsession and longing for a dead man. Tupac. It's like I know that they were, I want to say dating or fucking around or whatever, but based on what you hear from other women, Tupac had charisma. Me personally, I just thought he was just a rapper. He's kind of cool or whatever the case may be. But most women love Tupac because, I guess he showed that sensitive side, and that side he showed to Jada, and she fell deep in love with Tupac. But she has this longing for a dead man that I just don't understand. I could see if they were in a relationship, a fruitful relationship before Will, but based on what we all know, Tupac had a whole bunch of women because guess what? He was a famous entertainer. And what comes with famous entertainers? Women, pussy. He had his picks and chooses. He wasn't even a bad looking guy on top of that. So that's an issue that to me goes deep to her core. It's like, baby, you gotta let that go. You gotta move off of Tupac. You with a whole nother man. But guess what? She openly talks about how she was in love with him, how she misses him. And to me, how can you move forward in your relationship with Will, even though it lasted this long? To me, it's basically a 25-year fraud. You know, you really didn't want Will. You tried to make Will up to be Tupac, and we all know Will ain't even close to Tupac. The only thing they have in common is they both were entertainers and both, they were rappers. Other than that, they have nothing in common. One guy's personality is different than the other. Another thing that disturbed me that I had no idea about y'all, and maybe y'all didn't, this the part where if you think I'm bullshitting, go to your laptop, your phone after this. Do you know that their daughter Willow wrote a letter, to Tupac? I found that out this week and I was like, no, that's a damn lie. Ain't no way in hell the child wrote a letter to Tupac. So if you look at the writing, it looks like maybe she had to been about 6, or 7 based on the handwriting. But I want you to keep in mind, Tupac has been dead since, I want to say, since 1996. Willow was born in 2000. So we're going to make this letter was wrote maybe around 2006, 2007. And the problem I have with the letter is, how is a child that age writing a letter once again to a dead man? That tells you the dysfunction that's going on in the household. How are you talking to a child about your dead lover, to the fact that this child wrote a letter? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna read you this letter, so you can get a better picture. I wrote it down. I got it off the internet, but I wanted to write it so I could read it to you so you can just get a better idea. It goes, "Dear Tupac, I know you are alive someplace. I think that my mommy really misses you. Can you please come back? Can you come back so mommy and me, keep that in mind, can be happy? I wish you were here. I really do. Love, Willow." What in the hell is going on in the Smith household? How the hell does a 7-year-old dismiss her own father and write a letter to a dead man? We all know why. Her mother been talking, constantly talking about Tupac, to the fact that this child openly believes that, well, I love my daddy, he's my father, but guess what? I think I love Tupac more because what my mama say about Tupac. And we all know that's wrong in the motherfucker. You can't do that. So ask yourself, how can that relationship prosper with that going on in the household? And Will has made comments that he can't live up to the ghost of Tupac. He made a joke in jest, but that man was serious as hell. That let me know that she not only is talking to her child about Tupac, she probably on Will as getting on him saying, you'll never be him. No matter how much money you make, no matter how hard you try, you'll never be Tupac. Which, think about it. What does that do to a man? As a man, that'll beat me down. I'm a strong dude, but constantly hearing how I'm not going to live up to who that man was, and I'm my own individual, eventually, after hearing it and hearing it and hearing it, and along with other shit she remember, at the end of the day, everybody can tell she the puppet master of the relationship. And like I said, if you read Will's book, it's so much in there, but I just wanted to focus on the fact that, like I said, if we go back, the fact that he always felt like he wasn't man enough and he lived behind the fame. So another thing that I want to talk about, can somebody please tell me, why did they open up their relationship to the world? I don't understand. We had, we all thought, I'm not a big believer in quote unquote couple goals, but a lot of people looked up to them. They both were famous. But one thing we have to keep in mind, people, Will is the bigger star. He's up here. Jada's sort of in the middle. If you look at her filmography, it's not a lot. He's the biggest star. If I had to rate him from 1 to 10, Will is 9 or 10. Jada is about a 5. She ain't did too much. So she's the biggest star. So we looked at their relationship from afar and we always like, okay, they get along. We keep, if we go back to my video, once again, we talk about how people are caught up how they look. Both are attractive. Both had decent looking kids. One thing's for sure, two good looking people don't make good looking kids. Their kids, they look all right to me. Above, semi above average, but they look all right. But it's like, why did they decide to open up their relationship with the world? I have an opinion. I think Jada was tired of being second goddamn fiddle. I think she wanted to shine. But ultimately, it's like, Jada, you'll never be as big as Will. Could you? I mean, she could. She made more movies, more meaningful movies. But to me, she's so behind the 8 ball, behind Will. It's like, to me, professionally, as far as being a star, she'll never catch up. So to me, a lot of the stuff that goes on, to me, is her wanting to be the bigger star. But the question is, why open up your relationship? I mean, we all heard about the alleged the marriage is open, but I think with the August Alsina affair in August that we found out in August of 2020, I think we all found out that she had an affair. One thing about Will, guess what, people? If Will had women, we ain't know shit about it. But guess what? We found out that Will had women too. But guess what? That shit was under wrap. But Jada was the one that got caught up. Basically being a predator. Let's keep it 100. That was her son's friend. He was a little bit older than their son, but that was their son's friend. Came into their home. She basically knew the kid had issues. Guess what? Like somebody else, Will Smith. To me, she a goddamn predator that preys on the weak. August Alsina had issues. If you read his damn Wikipedia biography, his short biography, he got a lot of damn issues. But like Will, a lot of issues. Guess what? Common denominator, Jada. Jada gotta go. Period. That predatory behavior. We talk about R. Kelly and all these other motherfuckers while we ain't pointing the finger at her. She taking full advantage of guys with weaknesses. This ain't a case of, well, if a nigga weak, I'm supposed to get his money. No, we ain't talking about that. We talking about the fact that she's preying on people with issues. And to me, she knows the issues and she working those angles to get out of it what she want. But I always kept saying, why did they open up their relationship? It was almost like a picture perfect relationship, but I knew better. I mean, everything that glitters is not gold. Through all the pictures, the red carpet. I mean, like I told y'all, in any relationship, you gonna fuss, you gonna fight. Not physically, but you gonna fight, meaning argue. You gonna go through things, but at the end of the day, what I tell y'all, when you go out in public, you gotta put on a good face. So, um, another thing, we gonna move off of that subject, but I just wanna know why the hell she decided, because Will wasn't gonna open this up. His thing is he liked doing what he was doing. I'm alleging that he was cool with what she was doing. And like they said, their house is so big, they were on opposite wings of the house. So I guess it was working. But another thing I want to talk about, and in my opinion, I'm not a professional. This is just what I think based on the two men that we know that she's had in her life, which is August Alsina in 2020. And of course, she's been married to Will Smith over 25 years. I personally think that she has what's called NPD, narcissistic personality disorder. Now, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna read that as well. Like I said, I don't have that up where I can just kind of quote it, the definition. Narcissistic personality disorder, a personality disorder characterized by extreme self centeredness and self absorption, fantasy involving unrealistic goals, and excessive need for attention and admiration. You can go back and rewind and listen to that again. But if you think about it, the fact this, once again, is just my opinion. The fact that she seems to have the need to be the center of attention. I think we know Will wouldn't have got up and smacked Chris Rock if she would have laughed at the joke. The two wouldn't have made sense. Why would he get up and she's laughing at the joke as well? And once again, that's something they could have talked about later. But the fact that she rolled her eyes, and guess what? We all know since August of 2020, they have been the butt of jokes. Um, like Will said, the fact that all that constant joking and their lives are open up to the public and the scrutiny is wearing on even him. But once again, if you go back to the little Will, this is basically him acting out and saying, no more of me being a coward. This time, instead of me getting my daddy off my mama, I'm gonna smack the shit out of Chris Rock. So if we go back to Jada, based on that definition, everybody think about it. Why is there a red table talk? We didn't ask for this. We didn't want to know your personal business. Her business in the street. Willow business in the street. The mama, Gamia, Grammia, whatever the hell her name is, her business in the street. I ain't had no idea her mama was on crack, but I guess that's open for them to talk about. But she's a recovering drug addict. I'm sure she's been clean for years. We didn't have to know that Willow is polyamorous, meaning I'll fuck a man, I'll fuck a girl, I don't give a fuck. I just want a relationship. I'm open to dating multiple people. I never knew. Period. But did we have to know that? No. When the August Alsina thing came out in August 2020, why the fuck did she drag Will to the table? Y'all know why she dragged Will to the table. She made him come to that goddamn table. And if you go back and look at that video, Will is uncomfortable. He basically telling her, yeah, go ahead, you tell it. She trying to make him talk. His thing is, I ain't got shit to talk about. You dragged me here. You can look at the pain on that man's face. It's like it looked like he was dragged there. And guess what happens at the end of the day? Guess who get paid for red table talk? Jada, Willow. We just gonna say the Smiths. Will don't need that money. Jada don't need it either, but whenever there's a red table talk and the viewership is up, there's money to be made. Guess what's coming either this week or next week, people? Will and Jada at the damn red table talk to talk about the Oscar slap. We don't need it. But guess what? People gonna watch. Am I gonna watch? I guarantee you, I'm not doing no video on it, but I may watch because, okay. But I'm thinking, what y'all gonna tell us that we don't really know already? So with her NPD, everything that she's doing, people, if you think about it, it's all about her. That look she gave Will, I done seen that look before in my own goddamn household. I done seen it from girlfriends before, not a lot, but enough to know that look. It's that look your mama give you when you fuck up, and she ain't got to say nothing. She give you that goddamn look, you know you done fucked up, or you know you gotta do something because of that look. So when she gave Will that look, it's odd. Think about it, people, it was odd. The man was laughing. And then I don't even know how his switch went off that goddamn quick to go from laughter to look at her and then go up on the goddamn stage. But once again, over 25 years, in my opinion, of this is the puppet master, puppet stringing this dude every step of the way and wanting to be the biggest star. And she knew she had a weak man and she took full control. So the MPD that she has, to me, has overrun their relationship. And that's why I say Jada gotta go. I don't mean no disrespect to Jada, Will, the kids, or nobody. But y'all tell me, how does this relationship go forward? My thing is, Will ain't no saint, but we going by what we done seen, what we know, the information we got at the red table talk. All the shit we hearing about her 6, 7, and 8-year-old child writing a goddamn letter to a dead man. Why are you doing this? At the end of the day, think about the state of mind Will is in. And once again, I'm condoning the slap, but think about it. That'll set anybody the fuck off. That constantly bombardment of you ain't good enough. You ain't him. You ain't whoever the fuck she want him to be. So to me, she wants to be at the top of the pile in the Smith household. And at this point, I think we know that she is. Another thing with Red Table Talk, this ain't no damn therapy. They go to this table like it's therapeutic. To me, all you doing is putting your demons on the table for all of us to look at it, to analyze, to give our opinion. And once again, this is what you get, Smiths. When you open up your life with the Red Table Talk, you let us in, we get to analyze. And I can tell y'all right now, I got a whole bunch of goddamn demons, but I ain't fucking putting them on no damn out for y'all to know about it. My thing is, everybody know it's certain shit, we gonna die with that shit. To me, the shit they talk about, you gotta die with them secrets. But for some reason, she's convinced her mother, her kids, and her husband, who's only been over there, I want to say 2 or 3 times, that this open discussion is therapeutic. But as we see now, who was it helping? It wasn't helping nobody but one person, Jada Pinkett Smith. That's why Jada gotta go. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That relationship is doomed. Can it be saved? Probably. But if I'm betting my check I say, hell no. That relationship is over. They already was living on separate wings of the house. She had a boyfriend. He had girlfriends. It's like that relationship was dysfunctional at best. So can it go forward? To me, he can't talk to his mother. He can't. Who can Will Smith confide in? What therapist can he go see? Everybody knows him. Everybody knows her. Who can they entrust that will give them the right course for their relationship moving forward for the next 10, 15 years? The answer, I don't think it's nobody, because nobody can look at them and their relationship. They know about the slap, they know about her affairs, they know about his affairs. How can they advise you moving forward? To me, if you came to my house and sat down, they rang my doorbell right now and said, hey, what do you think? I would say respectfully, the relationship is over. The kids are grown. There are no little babies in that house. Sell that goddamn crib. Everybody go start their life over anew. And once you divorce or separate first, then divorce, then seek therapy. But to be honest with you, am I a big fan of therapy? I would say yes and no. I've never had therapy. Is there some stuff that I probably need to talk to a professional about? Probably. But my thing is, I think we all sort of internalize and we try to work out our problems on our own, which guess what? We all had a Will Smith moment, but guess what? We ain't get the fuck up and go slap nobody. We probably done broke some dishes and cussed the motherfucker out, but we didn't do that. So we all got those issues. His just happened to boil over at the most inopportune time. So to me, they got to see a therapist maybe separately, but the relationship is over. So as we wrap up this story, I'm giving my opinion. I'm not a professional. I'm just going off what my eyes see and what I've seen them go through. My thing is this goddamn red table talk. I'm stripping away the fame. I don't give a damn who they are. I'm looking at them as regular people. And if they were my friends, what I would advise. And my thing is, I'm sorry to tell y'all, but the relationship is over. I think y'all better. I don't even think they could be friends. Normally, I would tell people like, well, hey, y'all could be friends. How? Will's fucked up. Jada's fucked up. How can they help each other? They need to find another partner that can help them in the healing, or like I said, seek out a professional that can look at them from an unbiased perspective, and maybe they can grow from there. But I'm not saying their lives is over. I'm saying that relationship, that marriage, once again, I deal with numbers a lot. From 1 to 10, 10 being a blissful relationship, 1 being at the goddamn bottom. To me, they're the goddamn 2. I don't want to say 1 because 1 would be divorce, separation, or whatever. But clearly they haven't been together like we thought they were. But to me, they at a 2. And a miracle needs to happen for that relationship to be saved. But I want everybody to go back and think. I'm not saying I'm giving a new perspective. You done probably heard a million opinions about this subject. But I want everybody to think about that narcissistic personality disorder. Go look up that definition. Tell me that's not her. I'm not even digging into what's the hell wrong with Will, because in my personal opinion, I think she done fucked him up to the point where he fucked up. And where he goes from here, I don't know. But on a side note, my thing is my heart as a man goes out to Chris Rock. The more I think about what happened to that man, no matter what Chris Rock do from here on out, he will be known as the man that got slapped by Will Smith. That shit ain't fair at all. I can't even get down with that. But my thing is, somebody brought up a good point. They saying, well, to me, Chris has turned into a sympathetic figure. But people are saying, well, the sales of his comic shows have went up. I guess the ticket sale might have went for 100, now going for 400. But to me, I think people are going for 2 reasons. I think they going because they feel like he is a sympathetic figure, sort of like, let's go to this show, help him out. But to me, people are going to the show because they want to see the monkey show. They want to see the fucking clown show, or they just want to see what he gonna say about the subject matter. As a comedian, he eventually gonna have to deal with it. But to me, as a man, like I said, as a man, I could have feelings. I know we play tough all the time, but my heart breaks for that man. He is divorced now, but he got 2 daughters. How the fuck he gonna go to his daughters? I'm sure he can and will, but in his mind, when Will smacked him, that made him less of a man. So as we wrap this up, I do not want to forget about Chris Rock. Like I said, he not in my top 5 of comedians, but he in my top 10. The dude is funny, wonderful storyteller. I just wonder how his career or how he moves forward with the whole situation. So as we wrap it up, if you like the material, once again, this is Fool Me Once. I'm your host, Joel. If you like it, go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And once again, like I said, if it's just me and one person talking and they just stomaching everything I talk about, then hey, I'm cool with that. Just one person, it's just a conversation. I'd appreciate if I got more people, but guess what? I'm cool with just subscribe, and most importantly, trust and believe. I want y'all to share it. Copy that link, send it to your mama, send it to your friends, send it to your coworkers, and say, hey, this is what Joel talking about this week. We done heard it a million times, but Joel done hit on something that I ain't never heard before. That MPD, look it up, people. So other than that, I appreciate y'all tuning in to Fool Me Once. I'll see y'all next Tuesday. If I take next week off, my thing is I'll definitely be back on the following Tuesday. Other than that, y'all have a good week. And like I said, if you're in Chicago, guess what? The weather changing again, but guess what? It's about 55. We can deal with that shit. I done put the big coat up. Long Johns is up. So other than that, y'all have a good week. And I'll see y'all next Tuesday. Peace out.